Alright, for this video, I'm gonna be ranking all the consoles, or well, this isn't every console. You know, there's some that are missing, but these are mostly like the important consoles, like people really give a fuck about. Yeah, let's go. Alright, the first ones are the Nintendo consoles. NES, this shit's in B tier, bro. Like it's super important because without the NES, probably none of this shit would exist. But like these games have aged like shit, dude. Super Mario Brothers is still good, but no shit. But this Zelda is pretty ass on this. Metroid is pretty ass on this. A lot of like the best franchises are pretty trash on this fucking thing. But on the other hand, the Super Nintendo, that shit has aged perfectly. Mario's good on this, Zelda's good on this, all I don't know why, but it looks better and it just plays better too. They actually locked the fuck in with this one. This one was good. N64 was really good too, but like if we're looking like realistically, it being cartridges was a retarded decision from Nintendo. And then not even just that, the controller was weird. I think you could see it from here. The controller looks goofy, and a lot of the games ran pretty badly. Ocarina of Time is considered one of the best Zelda games of all time, and that shit runs at like 20 FPS barely on this thing. So like playing it now, yeah. But it's an important console though. It is an important one. GameCube, I would put the GameCube. I'll put the fucking GameCube probably in like same tier as N64. There's no way, because it's good too. Smash Brothers Melee is fire. Super Mario Sunshine's pretty good. Wind Waker was nice. This one I don't think there wasn't a Metroid game for. No, there was a Metroid Prime. I'm fucking silly. Yeah, Metroid Prime was good too. There's a decent good amount of games on here too, but still like all during this time the PS2 was out. Where's the PS2 at? The PS2's right here. Everyone's using disc at this point, and yet they still want to do some stupid shit. And they're like, yeah, we're not gonna use cartridges, but we're gonna use these tiny discs. Where's it at? Let me pull this up. GameCube disc, bro, you seen it? This is they greenlighted this. They're like, yeah, let's do this. So yeah, that was stupid. I don't know why they did that, but it doesn't matter because the Wii went back to, well, not back, they never did before. They went to normal disc on this one. The Wii's goated. The Wii's goated as hell. I'm kind of biased though because I grew up with it, but the Wii's very good. And I think the biggest problem with the Wii is maybe the controller. You know, the controller was a gimmick for the time, but if you use it now, it's like a lot of the games, like Smash Brothers Melee, it's better to just connect a different controller because the Wii remote is not really made for that type of shit. But either way, it was very good, and it's one of the best selling consoles ever. And the Wii U, people hated this shit when it came out. It had a rocky start. Most people didn't even know this shit existed. They thought it was just an attachment for the Wii. I still think it's better than NES though. There were some goated ass games on the Wii U. And the Switch, some of the Switch's best games, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and shit like that, are from the Wii U. They're just ports. But because nobody played the Wii U, you know, oh yeah, let's just port it to the Switch and it'll be like a damn near a new game. And it was for most people. But the Wii U's still good. Still better than NES. This shit is not aged well. Nintendo Switch, the Switch 1, that's an S tier. This tier list, I couldn't find a tier list with the Switch 2. I guess nobody gives a fuck about it. But the Switch 1 is an S tier for sure. That console was a fucking... That one was... Yeah, there's a lot of good ass games. Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild. The Pokemon games are kind of mid though. Metroid Dread was really good. Animal Crossing. There's some banger ass ones on the Switch. A Game Boy, I think the Game Boy has a similar issue with the NES, but I think it's even worse. These old Nintendo portable consoles don't have a backlight, which if you don't know what that means, it means that there's no light behind the screen. So if it's dark, it's really hard to see what the hell the screen is showing you. So if it didn't have a backlight, it would be like reading a book, sort of. If there wasn't no light so you could see, you know, the pages just like a book, you wouldn't be able to see the screen on the Game Boy. stupid. There was a Game Boy Light edition that did have a backlight, but I don't know why it's not on here. I don't know if that was released in America though. But yeah, Game Boy Color. The Game Boy Color is the same shit, just in color. I want to put it above that because, you know, that makes it better, but they're kind of the same shit. The games are they're eh. Game Boy Advance. The Game Boy Advance is better though. I actually might put this shit up here. The Game Boy Advance is really good. There's a lot of banger ass games on there. Fuck. Sonic Advance. The Mario games are good on here. Ah, but that's not goated. I need to reserve the goated. But this is on A tier for sure. This one's really good. DS. I had a DS as a kid, but I unironically, like, I do not remember playing on this that much. I think the DS is, people are gonna hate that shit, but that's a B. That's a B. I think the Game Boy Advance is better than the DS, for sure. It's just, I think the 3DS is way better. The 3DS is fucking, that shit is goated. S tier. Luigi's Mansion was really good in it. The Mario games are, Mario 3D Land was really good. Yeah, Mario 3D Land was really good. There's a couple Mario RPGs on there too. Oh, yeah, that should still be tier. But yeah, the Mario RPG games were pretty good on that shit too. But yeah, that's all the Nintendo games. All right, now it's time for the PlayStation consoles. But I did think about it. There's no way the DS is better than the NES. Like, we're thinking about, like, legacy is important, but like, it's also important to think about how is it to play on this console or handheld right now. The DS is a way better experience than the NES, so I'm gonna bring these down by one peg. Also, we needed some stuff for C&D. But the PlayStation 1, that's the PlayStation 1's really good, but the games have aged a decent amount. Like, Silent Hill 1 is a banger ass game, but if you play it now, it's like, Resident Evil 1, especially since it's not even the remake of Resident Evil 1, those games are iffy now. But it is a very important console, and it was one of the big boys to try to fight back against Nintendo. And unlike Sega, they actually lasted. So I put it at B tier, but it's definitely the games have not aged well. PS2 is the greatest. This is the greatest console of all time. There's no way you're gonna tell me otherwise. God of War 1 and 2, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, Final Fantasy 10, Silent Hill 2 and 3. Peak. This is peak. This is peak. There's nothing better than a PS2. I'm gonna know that right now. And then PS3. PS3 is interesting because PS3 is like, I grew up with the PS3, but it's definitely one of the weaker PlayStations. But it had a rocky start, but it did really good at the end. God of War 3 was really good. Metal Gear Solid 4 is pretty good. There were some good games on here. It's just at the start it was kind of fraudulent. And while the Xbox 360 was charging you money for online for a good amount of time, it was completely free on PlayStation. So yeah, I think it's on the same level as the PS1. PS4, this shit got close to the PS2. This shit got close to the PS2. It's a really, really good console. Lots of memories with this one too. God of War 2018 was really good. Spider-Man PS4 was good. The Last of Us was on the PS3, but I mostly played it on the PS4. The remaster was pretty good on this though. Yeah, the PS4 is goated. Now the PS5, I feel like the PS5 is gonna be like considered the forgotten generation. It's not a bad console, but I think because they held on so badly to the PS4, they kept releasing games for PS5 and PS4, which made the games not be as good as they could be if they were PS5 exclusives. And it also just ruined the value of it because it was like, why get, like, what makes the PS5 special? Half of these games are on another console. But it's still good. Definitely better than the PS1 and the PS3. But it's definitely forgettable. PSP is, besides this random arcade machine, which I literally do not know what that's supposed to represent, PSP is one of the only consoles on here that I have not played at all. But I have played the PS Vita, and I think the PS Vita is pretty good, but not on like Game Boy Advance level. So, assuming they're similar, I'm just gonna put this here. I'm gonna put them together. Yeah, that's all the PlayStation systems. Now it's time for Xbox. Alright, now it's time for the Xbox systems. I have like the least amount of experiences with these compared to the rest, but I still have played pretty much on all of them, or at least like, you know, all their games. Like the Xbox, the original Xbox, this is probably the one I got the least amount of experience with. I have never touched this fucking console in my life, but I played games from this system, and I know its history. And, you know, Halo 1 and 2, they're good. There's not much to say about the, like, you know, it's not a bad console, but I don't know, I just feel like it didn't have as much, like, oomph as it's, you know, something like, obviously the PS2, but also even the GameCube. I think the GameCube was better than it. Again, Halo's great, but it's definitely, like, not that crazy good. Now, the Xbox 360, though, this is Xbox's peak. This is peak Xbox right here. And, you know, as a kid, I had experiences with all three of these consoles, PS3, Wii, and Xbox 360. Xbox 360 was the one I had the least amount of time with. But even then, I would still probably put this shit at like A or S. Because this is where Halo 3 popped up, in my opinion, the best Halo game ever. This is also where Gears of War started popping off. And this console means a lot to a lot of people, and it's really good. So even though I didn't even spend that much time with it as a kid, it's definitely S tier. There's no way. This is where Xbox peaked for sure. And then Xbox One. I think this is the worst console out of this anyone here. There's not a single console worse than the Xbox One. The Xbox One is dog shit. They started off horribly. They announced it saying it needs to be online only, which, by the way, during the time that this released, people mostly had internet, but there was still a decent chunk of people who didn't. And just telling them to pretty much go fuck off if you don't have internet is a dick move.
Fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. So stick with 360. That's your message if you don't, like it?
It also costed more than it should have because it came with the stupid Kinect camera, which just bumped up the price more than it needed to be. And there was no game sharing. And it was kind of trash. There's no good games on this fucking thing. Halo 5 was shit. The Gears of War franchise was starting to fall off. And, like, people aren't going to be buying Xboxes for Forza, bruh. Like, it's not going to happen. This is definitely the worst console out of all of them. There's just nothing. It's a nothing burger. That's what this is. This is a nothing burger. But the Xbox Series S, I think the Xbox Series S is pretty good. And I think the price carried it. But I know the price has increased. Actually, let me check. Xbox price increase. How much is it now? Can I see an image of how much it costs now? Okay. Xbox Series S cost $400 now. That's still not that bad. This one was a bang for your buck, especially when it came out. It's still not that bad of a price. And the backwards compatibility, that's one thing Xbox always got right. Backwards compatibility, they cooked with that shit so hard. Backwards compatibility is one of the only reasons why an Xbox is like worth buying like at all in any form or shape, especially nowadays. Yeah, the price is good on this one. Xbox Series X. This console's kind of harmless. Like, this console's a sweetheart, bro. There's nothing necessarily like bad about it. And again, backwards compatibility. But like, it's hard to want to put it over something like the NES. I think it's got to be on the same tier, because there's nothing with these Xboxes. It's like there's fucking nothing. What is special about the Series X that makes it better than the PS5? There's nothing. That pretty much sums most of these Xboxes. But yeah, that's the full tier list. I don't know what this. like going real close to my monitor right now. I cannot see what the hell this is. If this is just arcade, you know what? We're gonna consider this just arcades in general. Arcades in general, the culture, the history behind it, that's an A tier. I know this probably doesn't mean just arcades generalized, but I'm just gonna assume that it is. Arcades are pretty good. But yeah, that's the full tier list. That's it. Peace out.